Okay, so here we go in the production of a Rolls Royce steam valve. What is a steam valve? Well, a steam valve is essentially this item right here. It fits in the header tank of a Rolls Royce, and its function is not unlike that of a radiator cap, where once installed and immersed in hot water, it releases pressure. Inside of this two-part piece is a spring and a seal that we retrieve out of a 15-pound Stant radiator cap. Now, in order to make this copper two-piece unit, our basic product is something that you'll recognize, a 1 1/4 inch copper cap that you can buy at any plumbing supply store that is designed to be swedged onto the end of a 1 1/4 inch pipe and soldered in place to blanket off. In this case, it makes the perfect beginning that will eventually produce these two pieces. Now, we have Steve here who just finished making 5 of these things, and he's going to go through the basic process of how it's made. So you're on, Steve.
Okay, well, we start with the already annealed pipe cap.
Annealed?
Yes. And we put the ball in there and flare the end out. Okay, then we place it over here in this die. This is the bottom piece we're making right here, this piece.
Right.
So this comes down into it. It won't go in there now because I have to force it with a hydraulic press, but it will press the outer circle. So once we pull this out, the outer circle is stamped, but the inner circle isn't. So after you stamp the first circle, insert the centerpiece, stamp the second circle.
Let's see the ends of both of those pieces in comparison to this. Pick them up and show them.
Okay.
Show them the ends.
All right. This is the outer circle.
Yeah, and?
The inner circle.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Then we'll have this coming up on this shaft here, surrounding it. It will insert in there once we put it on the press. This has sort of a knife edge end on it. It will go in and push piece open.
Oh, it actually peels it off the socket, right?
Peels it off the sides and gets it open.
It gives it that top hat look.
Yeah. So
okay.
Now what we have is like a 45-degree, sort of like a bowl around it.
Yeah.
Then we drop this piece on. That will push down and form a 90-degree turn right here. This particular 90-degree.
Okay.
That will leave us with a not so 90-degree outside edge that comes out about maybe a 1/2 inch. Something like that. And if we want to make a square corner on that, referring to this corner right here being 90 degrees turned this way,
yeah,
we have this die to force it through, and that will square up the end and give us that nice square corner on the end.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so
and
that's pretty much for the.
We have it without holes, and obviously this piece will form a hole guide for drilling.
Oh, it's a drill guide as well.
Yes.
All right, for putting those little perforations in the end.
Okay, then we need to peen detents into it. These here, the top half goes in with a notch on that detent, so we twist it and it locks. So place it in here, and we place the centerpiece in there, put it together in a vise or a C-clamp, one or the other, and we take an appropriate punch and just punch the dimple in. 3
1,
of them.
2, 3.
Yes. So
Great.
that with the drilling completes the bottom half.
Great.
So yeah.
All right. Well, that's fine. You can leave it in there because you're going to the top part now.
Yeah, onto the top part. Okay, so the top part, again, we have an annealed cap. It's been flared open by this ball. Then we put it in this die, which has a spacing washer on the bottom down here. So that's important. We have to have that in. And this die goes on top. We then take our annealed pipe cap, place this die in it. It will force past this square corner without any problem. It doesn't cut it or tear it or do anything. So we push that in, and we'll wind up with this piece here. Okay,
We end up with essentially this piece without the holes in it.
Right. So that's where this piece comes in. We now can find the holes and where to drill them in. Okay.
So that's a drill guide to drill the holes
Yeah.
in the side with.
Then
Gotcha.
we'll wind up with a fairly large flange on this. So I found that the best thing to do with it is just chuck it in a vise and turn that flange down with
Check it in the lathe.
a lathe, yeah,
Yeah,
and turn it down with the tool.
right.
Then we need to get the 3 little notches, which basically I just put it in the place here and make a little ink mark right where each one of those notches has to be. Those accommodate the detents. Then you can put your pieces together. Here, there we go. So once you put the notches in here, these ones, you can then put the pieces together. There it is, and it twists, and it's there to stay.
And that holds, and once it's twisted and there to stay, we have both
The spring, yeah.
the spring and the seal and the blow-off valve all encompassed
Okay.
in the assembly.
Okay. Then assembling this, since it's difficult to get it together, we've got 2 wooden blocks which we can clamp onto and get a hold of it and twist it. We've also got this spanner wrench. So one way or the other, we can get a hold of it and twist it in.
Yeah, to lock the 2 halves together.
Yeah.
And of course, when it's in place in the vehicle, a rubber O-ring goes around the outside, and it goes and sets down into the header tank and is sealed by a lid cap that goes on it. So, yeah, I mean, leave it to Rolls Royce to make the radiator cap into something more than it ever was. The original ones were made of bronze, and they had a tendency to fatigue and crack after years. Being made of pure copper, these do not have the thermal expansion and contraction properties of zinc and copper, bronze or brass, and they last a lot longer. So, anything else, Steve?
That's it.
Okay, well,
Got it.
that's the process to make these world-class, in this case, 15-pound pressure relief steam valves. Thank you for your attention.